Hey guys, welcome on into the Josh Reese Show. I am the face of Houston sports, and I'm coming to you live from my garage here to talk about the Houston Rockets 126-99 win over the San Antonio Spurs in Game 1. But before I get into that, let me tell you a little bit about this YouTube channel. If this is your first time perusing my YouTube channel, thank you. Secondly, this is a YouTube channel for Houston sports fans. I give you hot takes. I'd like to think I give you hot takes, and I like to think I give you pretty good sports content. So if that is something you enjoy, feel free to like, feel free to subscribe, and share. Feel free to tell people about what you see here. Anyways, let's get into what happened in Game 1 between the Rockets and San Antonio Spurs. If I tell you that at the end of the game, Bobby Brown, Kyle Wiltshire, Montrezl Harrell, Troy Williams, and Sam Dekker ended up playing about 6 minutes in the game. Before the game, I'd probably tell you the Houston Rockets had ended up getting blown out by the Spurs. Well, I ended up being dead wrong. It turns out the Houston Rockets were the ones that ended up blowing out the San Antonio Spurs. And don't lie, you did not see that coming. No one saw that coming. Although I guess it should have been something that we did see coming, mainly because the Rockets did not shoot very many threes against the Oklahoma City Thunder, and then you knew they had to explode at some time. And when they did, it probably was going to be a blowout win for them. And it was for the Rockets in Game 1. So they take the home court advantage away from the Spurs. Now, they just have to take care of business at home. The Rockets can walk out of here and head to the Western Conference Finals. But we know it is going to be a much tougher road for Mike D'Antoni and his Houston Rockets. So on the game, the Rockets jumped out to a 34-23 lead. And during that first quarter, the Rockets were nailing threes left and right. And I just kept on wondering to myself, I was like, okay, well, of course the Rockets are going to keep on hitting threes, but aren't the Spurs going to show up somewhat? I mean, at any time now, the Spurs are going to show up, right? No, they did not. Rockets took that nearly 10-point lead, 11-point lead into the second quarter. And then starting off the second quarter, the Rockets went on It was an 18-4 run, and it was pretty much the Rockets coasted from there on out. The San Antonio Spurs would make it a little bit close, a 25-point deficit, if that's kind of close. But the Rockets would push it up to about 39 would be the max, and they would coast around 30 points for the rest of the game. Spurs really had no chance against the Houston Rockets on Monday night, and it was a interesting sight to see. Something you don't see happen to the Spurs often, and that is taking a beating, and not just a beating. I mean, it was a Mike Tyson drubbing. It was awful. I mean, there was at some points I was just like, guys, please don't lay it on him anymore. One of the good things I thought we saw in Game 1 is James Harden didn't play the fourth quarter. So that's always a good thing. I don't believe Trevor Ariza played the fourth quarter either. If not, he only played 30-something minutes. I think he played 32 minutes in total. So if he did play the fourth, it was very few minutes. So very, very, very positive things for the Houston Rockets in Game 1. The defense was scrambling. They played excellent. Kawhi Leonard was held to 21 points on 5 for 14 shooting. And it seemed like every time Kawhi Leonard touched the ball, there were Rockets that double-teamed him. And when he would drive into the lane, they would all collapse on him. And no one else, and even though he'd pass on to other people, and no one else was hitting shots. It was a ghost town for Kawhi Leonard on Monday night. No one else was there to help him. And the Rockets feasted. They got plenty of turnovers and steals, and even Lou Williams had a block on Tony Parker. So no defense. Lou Williams was able to get a block on Tony Parker. So it was all working for the Houston Rockets on Monday night. The three ball was definitely falling. They finished with 22 threes. Ryan Anderson, 14 points, 4-10 from three, so he showed up. Trevor Ariza with 23 points. Game high for the Rockets, 23 points. No, I think it was a game high total. I think it was. Game high total, 23 points from Trevor Ariza, so that was fantastic. 5 of 10 from three. Clint Capella was amazing in game one, 20 points, 13 rebounds, 2 blocks. James Harden only had 20 points in the Rockets' 126 win, but he had 14 assists. He was setting people up all over the place. There was one point in the game where James Harden had a clear shot at three, passed it to Ryan Anderson. Ryan Anderson was like, no, I'm fine, and passed it off to Harden. And Harden's like, no, I want you to pass. They just go back and forth. It's hilarious. Made me chuckle just at how easy the Rockets made it look on Monday night. Beverly finished with only 7 points, but he was plus 36 on the night, and I believe his net rating was like plus 65.3. It was insane. He was definitely the spark plug for the Houston Rockets tonight. A couple things we should make mention of is Nene did get ejected in the game towards the end of the third quarter for choking Dwayne Dedmon. He was trying to push him off of James Harden, and by doing it, he caught his neck, and that's what the refs teed him up and ejected him out of the game for. But I guess everything would come, all's well that ends well, or karma would make things right in the universe towards the end of the game. And midway through the fourth quarter, Dwayne Dedmon ended up getting ejected in something I've never seen before. Dwayne Dedmon is shooting free throws because he was just fouled on a play. Patrick Beverly, I guess, is jawing at him from the 3-point semicircle. I guess he says something to Dedmon, and Dedmon barks back at him or something, and next thing you know, he's been ejected. Very strange scene. So I am interested, and I will be interested in finding out if Nene will receive any other repercussions for the attempted choking or whatever the refs kind of said it was. So I'll be interested in that, see if that's going to affect the Rockets in Game 2, because Nene has been a very big piece of what the Rockets have done in this playoffs between the Thunder series and then tonight against the Spurs. He was actually really good as well. So it'll be interesting to see that come through. But this game with the Rockets that they played against the Spurs kind of reminds me of the first game between the Rockets and the Oklahoma City Thunder in that playoff series, to where the Thunder just had no answers for the Rockets, although that was a little bit because of the pick and rolls. They had no answer for the pick and rolls. It was awful. Thunder just were scrambling all night long to try to figure it out, and then the Rockets ended up blowing them out in Game 1. But the Thunder made adjustments and came back to play for the rest of the series, and it was a tough grind for the rest of the way. And I kind of feel like that's going to be what it is going forward against the Spurs. While the Rockets did get that sweet, juicy, big, beautiful win and make the Spurs really kind of question themselves, I imagine Game 2, through however long this series is going to go, is going to be a lot different. James Harden had open three-point shooters all night long. Clint Capella was getting open looks at dunks all night long. And I would imagine Greg Popovich will not stand for that, and things will be a little bit tighter in Game 2. So that's pretty much all I got here. I appreciate you guys for giving this a watch. Once again, my name is Josh Reese. If this is your first time watching my videos, thank you. You can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Joshua. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Feel free to comment what you guys had thought about Game 1. And let me know what you guys think about Game 2 coming up on Wednesday. So I'm going to bounce on out of here, guys. I appreciate you for watching, and I will be back on Wednesday with your Game 2 report. So stay tuned.